Concerns have trailed the statement made by Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki that the federal government printed an additional 50 to 16 billion naira to fund federal allocations to states for March. While this has been denied by the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Federal Ministry of Finance, the government's fiscal policy is something that ought to worry Nigerians a great deal. The country's economy is stretched on all fronts with incessant borrowings, massive deficits, inflation, and currency depreciation. More so, the government, as it appears, has used up every option available for funding. This time, by no means, the first time the government's resort to printing of money has raised concerns. In January this year, CBN governor has dismissed such concerns on the grounds that the CBN is the last funding source for the national budget. Now it seems to have become first. Between 2015 and 2020, a total of about 19.3 trillion was printed. In 2017, the volume of money that was printed was already worrying. In 2020, the CBN printed a total of 2.86 trillion naira to fund the federal government's deficit. If the government's so-called last resort is now the norm, this becomes problematic. One of the significant worries of reckless printing of money is inflation. An increase in the amount of money available without a corresponding increase in the resources available shoots up the prices of goods. By the time the two factors have adjusted, inflation rates in Nigeria have been alarming at an average of 12.93% year on year since 2015. Inflation can primarily be attributed to such policies like border closure, food insecurity, and a ban on importation of certain goods. Still, an underlying reason that fewer people may have been paying attention to it is the amount of money printed. Inflation and, in the worst case scenario, hyperinflation would lead to several economic and humanitarian issues. The value of a weakened currency and government bonds, another one of the country's funding sources, in its recent borrowing streak, would lose even more weight. The little being earned by Nigerians would fetch even less. Savings would be an even less viable option. The already high level of poverty and worsening standard of living will become even worse. The government is at a point that it needs to be practical. It is essential to cut down expenses. The country's finances are in dire straits. There's a need to encourage private sector contribution to the country's development and relax crippling policies. In the end, the rising of cost of living would affect primarily the average Nigerian who is finding it hard to make a living because of an unfriendly business environment. At this point in time, what Nigeria needs more than government spending and projects is the freedom and enabling environment to create wealth. The kind of worms that Governor Godwin Obaseki opened, the revelation that he made, is something that really Nigerians should worry about more than people seeing it as just in politics, APC or PDP exposing APC. It's something way more than that. To me, I don't believe in APC or PDP. It's not about party. It should be all about right against wrong. Right against wrong. That is what matters most, because sometimes we get clouded with party, being partisan and playing politics, that okay, because it's PDP then it's okay, or if you are APC because it's APC it's okay. No, it should be a case of injustice being kicked off. Bad governance, wherever, whichever angle is coming from, it should be kicked off. So this revelation by PDP, we know obviously APC, they are the ruling party in the country. It is so shocking right now to note that even after PDP made that revelation, APC as a party, they still have not made any move. They still have not put anything in place. They've not done anything practical to actually address the situation. This situation is something really worrying. If the last resort for the government is to be printing money, we know what that will end in. It means that this money will only remain in the hands of a selected few. There will be no proper circulation of funds. The money will not go around. It will just be in the hands of a selected few. And as a result of that, the prices of things will go up. if there is no balance. So the big question here is that what is the federal government doing to ensure that we don't get to that level? There's already hardship. Insecurity is one major thing we're dealing with. I know right now there are different talks of the separation agitations. Oduduwa Republic, they had a rally on the 17th of April. They're planning another one about next week, sometime next week. IPOB, they still have their own agitation. We know all of those talks are on ground, but the truth is, the only reason why we're having all of these agitations is because of the bad governance, bad leadership that we'll have from these politicians. If they are ready to serve, to do the number one duty that they were appointed for, not to be selfish, not to play politics, and all of that they do, you see that where they wouldn't want to leave. You find out that a relationship, I used to make this example a lot, that between a husband and a wife, the only reason they are looking for separation is if things are not working properly. Maybe one is taking advantage of the other, one is not treating the other. Just something you never find a relationship, a couple that they are so loving, everything is going on well, and they are heading towards the court that, because we are so compatible, because everything is working well, because we are supporting each other well, that's why we want to divorce. It doesn't work that way. It's so evident that the reason for all of this agitation is this. And it's not even about stopping them. President Muhammad Buhari and presidency, they've tagged them IPOB as terrorist group. It's not about tagging them as terrorist group. If you do the right thing, but anyway, some persons state that it's even too late. Even if President Muhammad Buhari and APC, they do the right thing, it might not really change these agitations that it has gone so far. Well, what has been put out there that is one of the ways where the economy can be balanced is for the government to actually create an environment, an enabling environment where people can actually create wealth. Part of Obaseki'S revelation was that Shell is planning on leaving totally. We know the number of households that Shell employs. If Shell folds up, if they finally decide to leave the country, we know how many persons will be out of job, and the sort of hardship that will come back again. So there are a lot of things that federal government can do rather than turning fire. It's been back and forth, exchange of words, calling APC names, I beg your pardon, calling PDP names, and it's just been exchange of words, but no practical step, nothing to show the country that yes, this is what is in place, this is how the economy is going to be rescued. President Muhammad Buhari, unfortunately, he doesn't mean well for the country. I'd say that he doesn't mean well for the country. Well, guys, we've been told that Obaseki'S revelation about all that is going on, his recent alarm, is a cause for Nigerians to worry. Let's get your take down below in the comment section. Thank you once again for staying tuned. Please don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe till I come your way again with more updates. Bye.